Barbie. Thank you so much for this interview.
Of course, thank you. Hi.
Hi. So People of Movie Squad, for those that don't know Barbie, she was in the TV show Euphoria. She's also a model, and more recently, you can watch her at home in the movie Bob Trevino Likes It.
Sure can.
Barbie, first off, how did you get to be in the movie Bob Trevino Likes It?
So I got sent a script a couple years ago that had no one attached to it. It was just like an indie script. It had literally wasn't even in production. Nothing was. No one had any plans for it yet. And I read it, and I was so moved by it that I called my manager or my agent, and I was like, "This is such a beautiful script. Like we have to make this work." And so I met with Tracy, and it just felt like it all clicked. And I really wanted to do something different. I've been in a lot of things that are a little bit that kind of lean into like a little bit more sexual or like drugs and all these things, and I thought it was really interesting to do something that was very wholesome and just like really like character based, wholesome and sweet, and also really powerful. And so it just felt like such a cool challenge to me to kind of do something different than what I'm used to. It was really a cool opportunity.
Yeah, and for those that haven't watched the movie yet, uh, she's really great in this movie. She has one scene where she's talking with Bob. I'm not gonna say which Bob, and basically that's like your scene, and it was so powerful. Can you elaborate a little bit on that without giving away spoilers?
Sure. Which Bob scene?
It's the Bob scene where you just go mental.
Oh my god, okay, the one where, with the like, with French? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. What was really cool about this movie was that what's crazy about Lily is that she is so scared of anger and emotions that the payoff in the movie is that she finally really speaks her mind for the first time and puts herself first, and aside from other people's emotions, and really expresses herself. And that's kind of what is so rewarding about this film, is that you see someone who is so deeply a people pleaser, so deeply someone who like can't confront people and who doesn't want to stir any pot anywhere, doesn't want to rile anyone up, and then she finally embodies her own self and her own emotions and expresses them throughout the movie. And with those, the audience really gets to be like, yes, finally.
and I think it's so good because the next thing after that, your character just goes to a place where she starts destroying stuff, and it just feels like really good. How much did you have input into the movie?
With Tracy, my priority in this movie was just making sure that we were telling her story truthfully and correctly. And so the input that I had was, everything was a conversation with Tracy, which was amazing. And we aligned on nearly everything, of course, like 99.99999% of the things that were going on in the movie, we completely aligned on. So it was actually a really quite easy job to kind of flow and talk about it. And so it was just really cool because it was for my character, I had a lot of say in it, and thankfully a lot of the directors that I've worked with, that's like been something that they really want, is to bring my own creative ideas into the character. And so outside of that, it was really great because Tracy was always checking in, and we were always like seeing like what was right for the story, and it just felt like a group effort together, with John as well. John, we shot him out like pretty quickly in the beginning because he's a busy man, because he's a legend. Um,
Yeah,
and so it was, then it was me and Tracy, against the world and the
yeah.
lightning storms and all sorts of things. So it was really cool to be part of that process.
Who did you have more fun with John or French?
Oh man. Okay. Well, I think that due to the scenes itself,
Yeah,
maybe John, because we got to play some basketball. Poor French. French and I were always just. Although we had a great time at the restaurant and the date, that was actually one of the best days ever. When we did the date with French and Deborah. It was amazing. It was actually very fun. So I think both of them, but just because of the nature of the scenes, I think with John, we had a little bit more fun just because of that. But we didn't have a lot of time to hang out because I was working 14 hours a day, and they were going in and out of town. So
we're seeing a different side of you with Bob Trevino Likes It. Is this a step forward that you would like to do with your films or your career? where do you want to take your career from here?
Well, I think that everything I do is a complete challenge of what I've done before. And so everything that I've done, I've filmed 4 movies in the past couple years, and each of them are so different from each other in every single way, shape, or form. And that's what I like because my favorite thing is embodying different characters and finding these characters that are singular and different. And so I would hope that the expectation for my career is to always see me portraying different characters in different ways. I like to think of myself as a character actor, whether that's true or not. I'll like to believe myself, whether it's true or not. We can debate it, but I think the expectation for the rest of my career would be things that are just different than what you've seen me before. I never want to be put into a box of any sort. I think that's kind of like the plight of the actor.
Thank you very much, Barbie. It was a great interview. Much success to your career. And Bob Trevino is now available on digital. Thank you so much.